Okay, hello. I low key already recorded this, um, and I've already watched this all the way through now, so this isn't gonna be a live reaction anymore. But the first time I talked like so fucking slow, so I'm just gonna like speed this up. So okay,
This is Warden.
first mistake,
100%.
right here with your wave state, you have the opportunity for a really good trade here, but what you're doing is you're positioning inside of the wave for some reason, which causes you to like as soon as you go for this trade, you are hitting all of your minions, which is going to be terrible because you're going to end up pushing this wave
Only
in.
issue is he
A
had
better auction here, instead of like letting for these first or these these two casters die to the turret, he's going to hit these casters right now, keep them out of this turret,
no.
and then he's going to have like a freeze on you when you're down half HP to an auction with ignite.
It's not for me.
So he's just going to have like mega kill pressure on you if he's playing this right. So instead of positioning where you're positioning now, when you're killing this, like you have priority. The way to keep it is you walk off to the side here before killing this minion, and then as soon, because you saw him walk bot side, and then as soon as you kill this minion and you hit 2 and you're standing here, instead of queuing through this entire minion wave, you're able to E here, Q here, E to this way, E this way, and at most you're just hitting this like side cannon or this side caster minion, and that's gonna make your wave way better. So like even if you miss the Q, you don't fuck your wave or you don't fuck your lane like you did here.
Oh man.
And as I was like, I predicted the auction roam in my like first like commentary of this,
I let him
because
play it.
like your wave state here, you're low HP. He's gonna have his wave slow pushing to you. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna crash this, and or not. He doesn't have to even crash it. Like you can be holding it, but all he has to do is push this, and now he's gonna have a roam right here. And now that he does roam, and you know that he's roaming, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious that, hey, your bot's pushed up, he has full priority, he's high HP, he's roaming. So instead of just pinging missing mid, and I mean, it's not your fault that your team dies here. I mean, it's only like it's a little bit your fault, I'll say it. Instead of just pinging mid here, you should be pinging mid, missing mid, back pinging your bot lane, caution ping, fall back, whatever you feel like. And then ping Akshan alive as well. And what that does is it says... Sorry, I have the Black Plague. What that does is you alert your team that my laner's missing, he's coming bot, and it's Akshan. So then your team knows, hey, Akshan's coming, we gotta make this quick. And then another thing is you can also throw in a ping tracking him. So like when you see him finish this wave here, he should be walking, right? So he's like following this line, walking down the river, and right about like now, he's probably hovering on this wall right here, just waiting for something to happen. And then as soon as your Shaco Q's over, he's like, this is my time to shine. Pops out of vision, and he's hovering this wall, which, I mean, he can do either one. Pops out of vision, gets the revive off, and then swings around and kills your bot lane, right? So you realistically could have pinged much better to warn your team that Akshan was coming, going bot. He's going to be, like, right here. You guys need to get out. Because I don't think the Shaco's going to go for that kill if he is like fully aware that Akshan's going to be there and where Akshan is. This reset is good. You just get unlucky that Fiddlesticks is being a greedy bastard instead of resetting. But it doesn't really stop you that much.
I don't think you can clear this on time.
This is good getting a Vamp Scepter.
I'm heading.
It's good, when you are facing a lane that's just going to be poking you a lot, and it's good with your build, your Fleet Footwork Second Wind.
I can push this because he wants to.
You should be dropping more missing pings and danger bot maybe. But it's whatever. It's not like a huge threat of your team dying at the moment. But you should be throwing out another missing ping here because he's still gone when the wave's about to crash, which is usually a sign that he's either about to be back to lane or he's just full roaming. So this is also something that's bad. This is good when you hit the turret there. Going back for another auto on the turret is pretty bad because Akshan has red buff here, and he gets a double auto on you, which is just going to take off, like, I don't know, 150 HP for free. And then you also don't get to, like, you know, be a human ward. Like, if you had snapped back early, because you don't have any wards, you can just walk here, stand here, and then you have vision on Dragon, you have vision over here, all that, and then you still get to wave on time. So now you're just, you know, you're playing your game. You have to wait for him to kind of push waves into you. You can just farm with Q and W. You go in here, which is fine. I don't think it was worth committing ult. Now this is one thing. Shaco is here, and Shaco's not pinging in with, or pinging like on the way, which is really dumb. He should be, but you should be seeing that Shaco's here, and rather than like running away from this Q here, you should be running this way to dodge it, because you know that Shaco's on the way, and then if he sees you do that, he's probably going to be like, oh, he's dodging this way, that was a mistake, I'm going to punish him with auto attacks, and that's when you can just snap ult him. Because right now, he gets like kind of close to your ult range, but he's probably going to be outside of it. If you would have instead walked this way, he would have for sure, I mean, any Akshan's going to see there is a 500 HP Yone with 2 stacks of passive on him, walking like into me, like not directly, but like to the side, where he's going to get punished. I'm going to go for this auto attack. And that would have been like the perfect setup to that gank. So, I mean, that's just like a small thing. It probably could have been a kill for you. But there, I mean, you should just be like EWing this cannon, Eing forward now and then Wing. Because now that, like, either way, whether you get the cannon or not, you having to be into Q range there is like you're going to take a big chunk for no reason. And then you're going to take another big chunk by going for that minion. So, like, your health bar is not where it should be, and you're still missing farm. So it's like double bad. You see Akshan missing here. You should be pinging it. Yep, there he is. He shows up. As soon as he finishes this wave, let's see. Like, when does he finish this? As soon as he finishes it here and walks bot lane there, you should be pinging missing. Even if he doesn't have an angle there, you should still be pinging missing. You don't have to necessarily ping bot. Now that he still doesn't show up for this wave now, this is when I'd ping again and ping bot miss or bot danger. Because, yeah, he shows up there, and I don't think he gets anything off this. But it's still, like, something that you should be pinging. Even if it's a bad roam for him, you should be pinging any opportunity that he has to roam. So let's see. You take a B here. You don't need a TP. You're farming. And now you, once again, you see that Akshan has been missing, right? So he kills the minions here. This is where you ping missing, danger bot, danger top. And if I had to guess here, I mean, I don't really remember what he does. I think he actually, I don't even know, he might even end up just staying, but he should be going top here every time. Because this top gank is so free. Instead, yeah, he just ends up like randomly wasting time and then just ending up back mid. I think he maybe gets Shiv here. Is that what happens? No, maybe that's next reset. But he ends up just like wasting time for nothing, and that's like an opportunity that he could have been top or could have been bot there. So that's something that you should be pinging. Okay, back to it. You're just laning. That's a good trade. Nice. You cut it off at the right time. That's exactly how you want to play those. Now that you're top, or now that you see Fiddle top, and your Shaco's also top, you see that they're moving up for this play. So you should be trying to shove this in. This is good. You're pushing him back. And you should be trying to shove this in so you can move top. Because, like, there is a possible, like, top play here. If you know that Fiddle is top, Shaco's top, Gwen is prio, you guys can maybe look to invade here. And, that, like, you know, Shaco is resetting, but I think you can push this wave in. Like, especially here, if instead of, like, queuing onto him, Wing him, you queue onto him, just W the wave. Or even just queue through the wave and push it, and then you don't have to, like, use your E for it. There's an angle for you guys to invade top, which is going to, you know, help your Shaco's tempo. Alright. Going back. Akshan's missing. You should be pinging it. Even though I think he's like not bot yet. I think he's probably resetting. But yeah, there he is. You should just always, always, always be pinging, especially when someone who's a big roamer shows up. So you see Fiddlesticks bot here. Now this is something that I also mentioned. You see Fiddlesticks here.
I shouldn't do that.
When you see him here, you have to, like, because your teams are, teams are like kind of apes.
Really
Instead of just pinging like enemy
really
bot jungle,
risky
ping directly on your bot lane.
did.
You always just
I
have to
shouldn't do
assume
that.
that
I
your
should
bot
not
lane is just
put my
stupid.
Thing here. I should put it.
I don't think they end up dying here, but it's something where, like, in 20% of games, your bot lane is just going to be stupid and die there. This is a situation where after you clear this wave, you should be walking up and to the left here to be in range to get the plate, not only, but to also be able to help this play if it ends up happening. Because right now, you don't get a plate, and you also are not in range for this roam. And it's like, why are you not able to roam to this? Like, you had full prio right here. You don't have a reason to, like, be back here. You don't have Bork yet. Bork's not for another, like, 250 gold, 260 gold, whatever. Or like 280, I guess. But like, it's pretty obvious that Akshan's gonna roam here. And he, that's another thing. Instead of pinging here, you can ping on them and then ping where he is. Because, yeah, you're just pinging, like, around their area. They need to see it on their screen, because these people are dumb. So, yeah, then they die. And, like, again, it's not your fault that they die there. They go for the play without you. But you just should be there. Because this is, like, at this point, this is, like, 2 KP that you've missed out on.
This guy's probably ping.
And 2 roams that, like, probably could have been prevented. From just, like, better pings and communication. Okay, this is also another thing that I mentioned. Once you saw the Fiddlesticks here... Let's see, when did you see Fiddlesticks? Right there. Okay, Zillion, and then Fiddle,
This
right?
guy's probably pinging me right now.
And you know that they're there. You end up mentioning later, like, that you know that they're there, right? Fiddlesticks is going to be on these Raptors. He's going to be taking them, and then the next thing he's going to be looking at isn't Krugs. He's going to be looking, what can I do mid, right? And that's exactly what ends up happening. For some reason, you go for a trade, and I mean, it's a good trade, right? But now you are fucked, because you have no E, and Fiddlesticks is going to be popping over right now, and you're just dead.
That was really dumb by me.
And yeah, you end up...
I should have remembered the fact that they were.
Yeah, and you end up talking about it,
thought
which
about
is,
that.
you obviously realized it, but that's another
Oh, holy
just
shit,
thing to keep
where's
in
my
mind.
video?
And actually, I'm remembering something I said earlier about ward placement. Let's see if I can find where you put the wards down. Okay, so when you place your control ward here, this is a good spot. I like this. I always like controlling control ward in the bot spot. This is useless. Fiddlesticks is, like, he doesn't gank like other junglers, where he just wants to, like, walk from these bushes. He wants to be over walls all the time. So instead of, like, this isn't going to prevent him from doing anything. If you want to prevent him from doing anything, it should be more up here, where it's going to get more vision of this spot. Or it should be on the opposite side of the map, like on this side of the wall, where you can see him here, over the raptor pit, something like that. Because that ward ends up just doing nothing for you, and warding is, like, super important when you play against Fiddle. So let's see, you end up dying.
The fuck?
We go back, and at this point, you're just, like, you're sitting mid, and you're like, my farm is good, but I'm useless. And that's, like, never a situation you want to be in. Once again, Akshan's missing, you ping it, which is good. You go for, like, a little trade. Now you have prio, right? What you can do with this is, like, I don't know. Like, you can go and look for this red, and then you should be F-keying bot right now and seeing, like, hey, what's it looking like? Can I do anything? No. All right, then I'll just hit this far sight, which, I mean, you are the scrying bloom, and you do miss this.
Yeah, it's full HP now.
But that's fine. And then, yep, he's missing. You should be pinging top mostly, because top is the only one really at threat of gank. And nope, he's still there.
Oh.
Okay, now you have prio again. and you gotta figure out what you want to do with this. So you end up walking bot.
Try to fight
But
this.
I mean, this play is like, as soon as it hits this point, this play is over, right? There is no shot that you're gonna be able to like save this fight, and you know Akshan's coming as well. So honestly, the correct thing to just do at this point is to just walk away, like just go back mid, because Akshan's gonna be full committing to this. You can just go mid and hit that turret. Instead, what you do is you go bot and contest the wave. But like, look at this situation that you've put yourself in. If they're smart, they have, you have no one on this side of the map. They have 2 people at full HP, 1 person at half and 1 person at a quarter. They can dive you so easily here. And look at this wave clear from the fucking Shiv on the Akshan. Like, if they're smart here, they are just staying and killing you. And then you get hit by this, and then you get hit, I think, by a stun. Like, you are dead here if there's an Akshan, And they end up not doing it, which is like, it's whatever. But realistically, in most situations, you covering bot here is just a free way to die. There's nothing you gain from here when you could have just been mid and just been hitting that turret. So you end up living, which is, I mean, admittedly just kind of lucky. And then now you just have to TP back to catch this mid wave, and you gained nothing from it. You just got an extra wave bot.
Yeah. No holds.
So you're back to farming this. Good trade on the Akshan. You have Prio again, which is good. And I mean, I think, let's see. Here, I'm not sure why you didn't commit to going for Riven. You have like a decent amount of time until your wave gets back, and that Riven is like full committing. So I think you actually can maybe do something there. Or at the very least, you can help your Shaco with the Grubs or the Herald a little bit. Just give it a couple Qs and then come back. So right now you're just kind of like AFK farming, which is, I mean, it's how you're going to get back into the game to an extent. But if you can help your team and pick up free kills, like that's going to be way more impactful.
No, it should be.
So you're trading with Akshan, which is fine. You don't know where Fiddlesticks is, so you need to be a little bit careful. You get this trade on the Akshan, which ends up being, like, not great. And yeah, like I said, there's the Fiddlesticks. But what that trade does do for you is now that you have this push and you're lifestealing a bit, right here, you should be walking bot. Instead of looking for a reset, you should just be walking towards bot lane, because more likely than not, Fiddlesticks is going to, like, try and take a Drake here because he has, because he probably, I don't think he has any bot camps left. So the only thing that you can do is go for this Drake. And I think it's a horrible Drake call, right? It never works.
Heck yeah.
Or it never should work, but it ends up working because you guys just don't check it for some reason. When you guys could have even looked for the Drake.
I guess, yes.
Because Akshan's pushed all the way here. You could have been almost all the way to this Drake at this point. And then your bot is, like, close to even here. They're a little pushed back, but you end up just, like, losing the Drake for essentially nothing. And then your bot fights anyway, or your bot and jungle fights anyway, and then yeah, it sucks. So at this point, there's not a whole lot you can do. Rotating bot here is good.
Cover if you go mid.
You're just so, like, your team is so far behind, and your CS is good, and this should be a kill. I'll say Milio just kind of fucked up that Q. So not a whole lot you can do there. But yeah, I mean, this game is just, like, so hard at this point. It takes, like, a big play for you guys to get back in at this point. And this is good. I don't think you need to ult there. But I guess better safe than sorry. And you don't have an objective to fight for, so it's whatever. You see your team's fighting top. You know that Jhin and Zillion aren't going to be there. So, I mean, you should be communicating with them saying, like, either, hey, Zillion and Jhin just reset, they could be on their way, or Zillion and Jhin just reset, they're not going to be there. Whichever one you think is, fits the situation. If they start pushing into the jungle, it should be like, hey, Zillion and Jhin just got back to base, you might be fucked. If they, we're just fighting in their jungle, like, there's no way the bot's going to be there. And you end up just dying for no reason here, because, I mean, you should know that after the reset, they're coming back, and you just got hit by a Jhin W that shouldn't have hit. I mean, it not that like the hitbox was off. It's just like you just shouldn't have been hit by it. And then the nail in the coffin in this game is right here. There's a really good fight, and as I was watching this, I was like, okay, you got a fight going on. I was like, oh, you can maybe look to TP here. And then like as soon as I said that, you just started TPing, and I was like, okay, this is good. But the way you play this fight is like what seals the deal, because instead of like walking, just like walking into them and then just like fighting them and then Eing and ulting, you E and ult solo onto Zilean and he just flashes it. So now what do you do in this fight, right? These people are all over there. You have no flash, you have no ult, and you're in your E, right? So you are just gonna pump in. I think you pump in like 2 Qs and 2 autos, and then you're out of the fight. When instead you could have just walked straight into this fight with a full health bar, set up for a much better ult, like over here, because if you're just still walking, you have a great ult angle here, right? Or you can at least zone Akshan. But instead, you end up Eing too early and ulting too early, and you just contribute nothing. So, I mean, that's when the game was kind of over, in my opinion. This play was also, like, horribly sad. I think after you miss that Q, you should just be, like, Eing and just backing out. But, I mean, it's... You know, I don't blame you. You have to go for something at that point. But, yeah, I mean... That's kind of the nail in the coffin. There's not really much to go, you know, to say after that. You guys just kind of get fucked and end up surrendering. So, yeah. Major things. You have to be cognizant of what you're going to do to your wave when you go for these trades, because you just, like, fucked your entire early game. Pinging, you have to be more thorough with your pings, especially against a roaming champ. As soon as you see him missing here, it has to be pings bot. It has to be, you know, all the pings you have. Akshan's gonna be there. Careful, even chatting. Like I typically ping and then I say, like, care Akshan, or you know, care whoever I'm facing. And then yeah, I mean just some like small mechanical things like that play at the end. Those were like the main things to focus on, and then I guess tracking jungle, like especially fiddlesticks.